If you knew how you and the people you love the most were going to die, would you do something to stop it? If you knew that the world was going to end and you knew how to stop it, would you act on this knowledge? Changing to a vegan lifestyle is a logical, healthy, and ethical choice that everyone should consider. This is important to you because the environmental and personal health effects of eating animal products takes a toll on you and those you love. Today, I'm going to discuss the problem of the prevalence of eating meat in America. Then I will turn your attention to the impacts that this decision is having on us and our planet, and finally I will provide a solution to this problem. So let's begin by defining the problem. Americans have the second highest rate of meat consumption in the whole world. According to Eliza Barclay on June 27, 2013, with National Public Radio, each person in the U.S. consumes 270.7 pounds of meat every year. Can you even imagine a meal without meat at the center of it? Most Americans also attempt to lose weight by going on a high-protein diet and by trying to cut out as many carbs as possible. While this is effective for weight loss, it's extremely dangerous, as we'll see in a moment. So now that you know about the situation, let me tell you about what dangers this causes. As you can see from this table from the Center for Disease Control's website, the number one cause of death in America is heart disease. The number two cause of death in America is cancer. Both of these have been linked to consumption of animal products. Animal products contain cholesterol, which cause heart disease and diabetes. Atherosclerosis is a term that refers to the solidification of fat within a person's veins and arteries. So this is because animal fat is a solid at human body temperature. So whenever we eat animal products, the fat in those products solidifies, clumps up, and gets all stuck in our veins, and it makes our heart have to pump harder to get our blood throughout our body. According to MD Herbert Sterry and his colleagues with the American Heart Association in 1994, 45% of the infants in their study already showed signs of atherosclerosis at 8 months of age. Most Americans begin eating pureed meat at 4 to 6 months of age, and dairy products even earlier. Animal protein is also very acidic. This acidity in your body accelerates and promotes many forms of cancer, such as stomach, colorectal, and prostate cancer. The hormones in milk and dairy products are also a major contributor to breast and ovarian cancer. This acidity is also a major cause of osteoporosis. Because your blood becomes so acidic, your body has to take calcium out of your bones to neutralize this acid. How many people are on our prayer list right now that are suffering from heart disease and cancer? We just talked about many of them this morning. According to Ramona Ilea in 2009 of the Journal of Agriculture and Environmental Ethics, the livestock division is responsible for 18% of greenhouse gas emissions, which means it's responsible for more emissions than the whole transport industry. Clear-cutting forests to feed these animals and provide them with pasture land is a major contributor to the agriculture industry's effect on the planet. As you can tell from this picture, just one hamburger, not even 1 full pound of meat, takes 6.7 pounds of grain, 52.8 gallons of water, 74.5 square feet of land, and enough energy to power a microwave for 18 minutes to produce. This means that all that food and water that we feed to these animals that we then eat could have gone to one of the millions of people who go hungry every day. So now that you know what causes the problem, let's look at a solution. The solution to this problem is veganism. A whole foods plant-based diet can lower cholesterol, reverse heart disease, and atherosclerosis, and prevent and protect against many forms of cancer. You can obviously see from this illustration that the vegan, over here, has a much lower chance of dying from heart disease than the omnivore, which is over there. The heart is like the risk of death. Not only does eliminating meat, dairy, and eggs from your diet virtually eliminate the problems that we discussed today, it also makes you a healthier person overall. As Dr. John McDougall says, open heart surgery is radical. Eating oatmeal and potatoes is not radical. It is also not sustainable or logical to feed the majority of our food to animals, which then give us less food in return. All the land and water usage devoted to raising these livestock for food could be diverted to people who are in need. It takes approximately 16 pounds of plant food to produce 1 pound of beef. So think about a hungry child. If we were to give them 16 pounds of plant food, how long could they survive on that versus 1 pound of beef? As a church, we want to feed the hungry, right? This is the best way that I've found to do that. As you can see from this bar graph, 1 acre of land can produce inconceivably more plant food than it can animal food. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Changing to a vegan lifestyle is a logical, healthy, and ethical choice that everyone should consider. Today, I've discussed the problem of the prevalence of eating animal products in America, the problems that this causes for us and our environment, and I've proposed veganism as a solution to this problem. Now, I'm going to ask you again, like I did at the beginning of this speech. You now know how you can prolong the life of you and those that you love, and you also know how you can make an impact on the environment. Will you? Are you willing to change to a vegan lifestyle and make the biggest impact that any single person can make on these problems? I hope that you'll consider it after being presented with the information that I've given you today. Now, do you guys have any questions? Yes?
How would you address that? You say that cholesterol is bad for the human body, but without HDL cholesterol, we would die.
We make our own cholesterol. We make enough cholesterol that we can survive on our own.
But we don't.
So
How am I alive?
as a vegan, where do you get your protein?
I get my protein from pretty much everything. Most everything has protein in it. Beans, lentils, grains, lots of veggies have protein in them.
Do you take any protein supplements?
I do not take protein supplements. There are vegan protein supplements though.
Where are those derived from?
Soy, pea, there's rice protein. A lot of vegan bodybuilders use soy protein or pea protein.
And you mentioned the economic cost,
Mhm.
or economic effect of a vegan lifestyle by reducing the grains fed to, what would the economic cost be to, say, me as a farmer? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, now I raise beef,
Yeah.
and so you're going to put me out of business as a beef producer, and you're that's going to affect the cost of grains and affect the cost of everything else. How do you calculate what the cost would be?
I'm not sure about that. But if you think about when we had slaves, you know, how did they calculate the cost of the labor that they were going to have to pay to replace those slaves that they had? Did they know? Or did they just say, hey, slavery is not a thing anymore?
Now, when you compare living longer, healthier lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to put a price on.
Yeah.
Because that, what we all try to do is to take care of ourselves and live longer.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the important thing.
Yeah. I definitely think the problems that it causes, I feel like they don't outweigh those problems because that's a personal problem for you. But I feel like for the mass majority of Americans, they're dying from heart disease and cancer and starvation in other countries. You know, that's the loss of a life versus the loss of a career. Mm-hmm.
If animal products are bad for us, why did God give it to us for food?
Well, in the Garden of Eden, there was no shedding of blood, right? The first animal that was killed was to make clothing for Adam and Eve.
Right.
So I don't think that this was God's plan for us to, you know, kill the animals, kill ourselves, kill the planet. I think we kind of corrupt God's plans sometimes.
If everyone adopted the vegan philosophy, what would the new leading cause of death be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because we're still going to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely still going to
We're not
die.
going to eliminate that. So
Yeah.
what would the new leading cause be?
Oh, what was the third cause of death out there?
Medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice. So actually, a lot of those would be eliminated if we went vegan as well, because a lot of the medical malpractice that we have is because people are put on chemo or radiation for cancer and they end up dying. Instead of it killing their cancer, it kills them. Or they, who knows, their blood pressure goes out of whack because their medicine's messed up, or the surgery goes wrong and they die. I'm not sure what the third cause or the leading cause of death would be.
about the idea of moderation?
That is a
We
great
may-
idea.
We may eat too much meat, but we eat too much of lots of other things.
Yeah, I definitely think that any change in the right direction is a good change. So, the FDA actually recommends a certain amount of meat to eat, and it's way less than what we eat. It's probably one serving, and a serving of meat is actually like the size of a deck of cards. That would be how much meat you should eat in like a week. Just that one serving, not at every meal, like people think.
What would you say to someone, Paige, that doesn't like vegetables?
Fruits, grains, beans. There's a bunch
Don't
of
like
stuff you
beans,
can
that's a
eat.
vegetable.
I also, for Christmas dinner, just later today, I'm gonna have, they make vegan chicken nuggets. They're made out of soy, and they just bread them, and you cook them. I'm gonna eat chicken nuggets and tater tots for Christmas.
Tater tots, okay. Nuggets, no.
Fried.
Anybody else have any questions?
Does it also eliminate fried foods,
Um,
fried potatoes?
No.
Oil is not the healthiest for you. I would say that plant oils are a little healthier than animal oils, but the diet that I promote is a whole foods plant-based diet. So that's taking the food like as a package. So you want a whole avocado, not avocado oil. You want to eat olives, not have olive oil. If that makes sense. But I feel like in moderation.
How long have you been on this diet?
I've been a vegan for 9 months. So not very long, but I've definitely researched a lot about it. Anybody else? All right, thank you guys.